Welcome to my daily report market analysis videos with me, Richard Perry, market analyst at Hantec on Friday, the 17th of July. There is a mild risk positive move that we've seen through markets today. It sort of comes a little bit of a swing back on the trades that we saw yesterday. The dollar rebounded yesterday, that's fallen over. We've seen equities that fell away yesterday, that's sort of rebounded. You can see it through the S&P 500 futures, which have basically unwound all of yesterday's weakness, and fairly much there or thereabouts as is. So it's sort of coming ahead of this EU Recovery Fund meeting, the EU Summit of Leaders, that they're discussing the EU Recovery Fund, which is going to be key for pushing forward the further fiscal stimulus and the expectation that the Eurozone can get its act together, actually finally start to collaborate and move forward on the prospect of debt mutualisation is a really interesting point, and that's going to be something that underpins the euro. And we've seen that the euro has been a little bit choppy in the last couple of days, but starting to edge a bit higher this morning, back above 114 figure again. And it sort of seems as though that the market is sort of positioning for a bit more of a constructive look to the EU Recovery Fund talks that are sort of progressing, hopefully, and that will be the main reaction will be next Monday in the wake of this summit over the weekend. But certainly progress is seemingly to be expected there. So that's helping the euro at the moment. The DAX is slightly higher, just broadly a little bit of risk positive sentiment, although nothing too decisive yet. So that's basically where we're at today, a little bit of consolidation with an edge of risk positive look. So in terms of data points today, not a huge amount until the afternoon. We've had the Eurozone final inflation data for June, and it's been unrevised across the board. Headline at 0.3, core at 0.8. That's as they were on the prelim reading. 1 o'clock, 1:30, you do have the building permits and housing starts expected to bounce back quite strongly, around sort of 6% higher on those building permits and around about 20% rebound on those housing starts. Then we look to the important data point of the day, Michigan sentiment. An expectation that Michigan sentiment is expected to rise to 79.0, and that rise to 79.0 is likely to be driven on expectation by the improvement that we've got in expectations component rather than current conditions, which is expected to just drop back slightly. Now that is a really interesting how the composition of this report it comes out is going to be really interesting, because this is July data. This is consumer in July. Now the US has started to sort of rein back in its removal of lockdown procedures, so that is going to affect on consumer sentiment, and how those numbers come out today will be important. And it'll be interesting gauge to see how July data could be starting to shape up. Right, so that takes me on to my charts today. I said about an edge of risk positive outlook, and you can see that through the Aussie yen over the past sort of few weeks, really, just edging higher. I've drawn in this little pink uptrend here, reflecting the higher lows and higher highs, but it's bumping up against resistance at 75.15. There's been a resistance over the past few weeks, and again testing that this week, just backed away from it, but you've got this improvement of the higher lows and higher highs and the little uptrend, and you've got momentum indicators which are pretty nicely set up actually for an upside break. And if you see a close above 75.15, that really does sort of open the way towards that 76.75 key June high once more. It looks like this setup is a market that's happy to buy into weakness near term and continue to track this uptrend higher, and over the past few months really, but the tighter uptrend comes in as support around the 74.50 mark today. So anything towards that I think is still a buying opportunity, and you can still see that the Aussie yen is fairly positively set up, although consolidating a little bit today. Above 40 on hourly RSI is encouraging. MACD lines holding above neutral still. So it's still set up to buying into the weakness, and I think that sort of moves towards a test and breakout above 75.15 in due course. And this one could be an interesting one to watch, considering how it does seem to be correlated to equities, certainly, and equities breaking higher. Yeah, that is an interesting correlation to watch out for there. But Aussie yen looking positive, looking to continue to run on the higher lows strategy, and buying into weakness seems to be the way to play it. So with that in mind, I wish you good luck in your trading today. Click here to subscribe to our analysis videos, go to our website, sign up for our webinars, and also click to watch Trader Talks, our videos that give you top trading ideas.